Have you ever felt afraid to speak? Maybe in school, maybe at work, or even with friends. Your heart beats fast, your hands shake, and the words, they don't come out. Yes, we all know this feeling. It is called fear. Fear of speaking, fear of making mistakes, fear of people laughing at us. But let me ask you a question. What if I tell you that fear is not the end? What if I tell you that even a shy, quiet person can stand up, speak, and feel proud? In today's story, you will meet Rina. She is just like you. She is just like me. She feels small, she feels scared, and she feels weak. But something happens that changes her life. And by the end of this story, you will not only learn English, you will also learn how to face your fear, one step at a time. So stay with me, listen carefully, and maybe, just maybe, this story will give you the courage you need today. Part 1. The Fear. Rina is a young girl. She is like many of us. She goes to school every day. She sits in the second row near the window. She likes to look outside. The sky, the trees, the birds, they make her feel calm. But inside the classroom, Rina feels something very different. She feels fear. Every time the teacher asks a question, Rina looks down. She does not want the teacher to see her. She does not want to be called. Her hands start to shake, her heart beats fast, like a drum. Please, not me, she thinks. The teacher looks around the class. Who can answer this question? The teacher asks. Some students raise their hands quickly. They are confident. They are not afraid. But Rina? She stays silent. She hides behind her book. Inside her head, she thinks, if I speak, I will make a mistake. If I make a mistake, everyone will laugh. They will think I am stupid. This thought makes her even more scared. Her throat feels dry. Her voice feels small, too small to be heard. One day, something happens. The teacher asks a question. No one answers. The room is quiet. The teacher looks directly at Rina. Rina, can you try? The teacher says gently. Rina feels frozen. She feels like a small bird in a big cage. She wants to fly away, but she cannot. Her classmates turn to look at her. Their eyes are waiting. Rina opens her mouth. One word comes out. It is soft. Almost no one hears it. Sorry, she whispers. Her face turns red. Her eyes look down. The class giggles a little. Rina feels even smaller. After school, Rina walks home slowly. She feels sad. She feels angry at herself. Why can't I just speak? Why is it so hard? Other kids do it easily. Why not me? She thinks. Her fear feels bigger than her. It feels like a shadow that follows her everywhere. Maybe you understand, Rina. Maybe you have felt the same. Have you ever wanted to say something, but your voice stopped? Have you ever felt your heart beat so fast that you could not speak? Yes, many of us have felt this. Fear is powerful. Fear makes us hide. Fear makes us quiet. But remember, this is only the beginning of Rina's story. Right now, she is afraid. She is silent. But something is coming. Something will challenge her fear. And when that moment comes, Rina's life will change. Part 2. The Challenge. The next morning, the classroom is noisy. Children are laughing, talking, and moving around. Rina sits quietly at her desk. She looks at her notebook, but her mind is somewhere else. The teacher walks into the room. The students become silent. The teacher smiles and says, "Good morning, class." "Good morning, teacher," the children reply. After the lesson, the teacher looks around. Her eyes stop at Rina. "Rina," she says softly, "tomorrow you will give a small talk." Rina looks up, surprised. Her heart skips a beat. "A talk?" she whispers. "Yes," the teacher nods kindly. "Only 2 sentences, just 2, nothing big. You can do it." The whole class looks at her. Rina feels the weight of their eyes. She feels hot in her cheeks. Her stomach feels tight. She wants to say no. She wants to disappear, but the words don't come. She only nods slowly. When school ends, Rina walks home. Each step feels heavy. She thinks, "How can I speak tomorrow? I can't do it. Everyone will laugh at me." At home, her mother sees her face. "Rina, why do you look sad?" her mother asks. Rina puts down her bag and sighs. "Mom, tomorrow I must give a talk in class, just 2 sentences, but I cannot do it. I am too scared." Her mother sits beside her. She touches her shoulder and smiles gently. "Rina, fear is normal. Everyone feels fear. But courage is trying, even when you are afraid." Rina shakes her head. "But I will make mistakes. I will say the words wrong. The class will laugh at me." Her mother takes her hand. "Listen, my dear. Even if you make mistakes, it is okay. Mistakes mean you are learning. Do not let fear stop you. Just try." Rina looks at her mother's eyes. They are calm, strong, and full of love. For a moment, Rina feels a little stronger, but the fear is still inside her, big and heavy. That night, Rina lies in bed. She cannot sleep. She thinks about tomorrow. She imagines standing in front of the class. She imagines her hands shaking. She imagines her voice breaking. Maybe I will forget my words. Maybe I will run away. But then she remembers her mother's voice. Courage is trying even when you are afraid. She closes her eyes and whispers to herself, "Maybe, maybe I can try." The challenge is waiting. Tomorrow, Rina must face it. She is afraid, but a small seed of courage is starting to grow inside her. Part 3. The Practice. That evening, after dinner, Rina goes to her room. She closes the door. The room is quiet. She takes her notebook and sits at her desk. She thinks for a long time. What can I say? Just 2 sentences? But which 2? Her pencil moves slowly on the paper. She writes, "My name is Rina. I like reading books." She looks at the words. They are simple, very simple, but for her they feel heavy, like big mountains. Rina stands up and goes to the mirror. She looks at her reflection. Her face looks nervous. Her lips are tight. She whispers, "My name is Rina. I like reading books." Her voice is soft. She almost cannot hear herself. She tries again, louder. "My name is Rina. I like reading books." But then she stops. She covers her face with her hands. "Oh no, I sound silly," she says to herself. She sits on the bed. For a moment she wants to give up. She wants to say, "I will not go tomorrow." But then she remembers her mother's words. Courage is trying, even when you are afraid. Rina takes a deep breath. She stands up again. She faces the mirror. One more time, she says, "My name is Rina. I like reading books." Her voice shakes, but she does not stop. She says it again and again. Each time, her voice grows a little stronger. Each time, she feels a little braver. She makes mistakes. Sometimes she forgets a word. Sometimes she speaks too fast. Sometimes she laughs at herself. But she does not stop. She keeps going. At one point, she imagines the class in front of her. She imagines the teacher smiling. She imagines her classmates listening. Her heart beats fast, even though she is alone. But she pushes herself to continue. She whispers, "I can do this. I can do this." Finally, after many tries, Rina smiles at her reflection. For the first time, she sees not only fear in her face, she sees a little courage, too. Before sleeping, she reads the 2 sentences again. She closes her eyes and repeats them in her head. My name is Rina. I like reading books. Slowly, her eyes close, and she falls asleep with the words still in her mind. Yes, Rina is still afraid, very afraid, but now she has practiced, she has prepared, she has taken the first step. Tomorrow, she will face her class. Tomorrow, she will face her fear. And maybe tomorrow will be different. Part 4. The Day. The next morning, the sky is bright. Birds are singing outside Rina's window. But inside her room, Rina feels heavy. Her stomach is tight. Her hands are cold. Today is the day, she whispers to herself. Today I must speak. She gets ready for school. She puts her notebook in her bag. She touches the page where she wrote her 2 sentences. She has practiced many times, but still the fear is there. At school, children laugh and talk in the hallway. Rina walks slowly, her head down. Her heart beats fast. When she enters the classroom, everything feels different. The walls, the chairs, even the board. Everything feels bigger, louder, scarier. She sits at her desk. She cannot focus. The teacher starts the lesson, but Rina only hears her own heartbeat. Then the moment comes. The teacher smiles and says, "Class, today Rina will share something with us." Rina's heart jumps. Her legs feel weak. Slowly, she stands up. She walks to the front of the class. Her classmates look at her. Some whisper, some smile. Rina feels small. Her hands shake. She looks at the floor. "Come on, Rina," the teacher says gently. "You can do it." Rina remembers her practice. She takes a deep breath. She lifts her head. She looks at the class. For a moment, the fear almost wins. Her throat feels dry. Her lips do not want to move. But then she remembers her mother's words. Courage is trying, even when you are afraid. She closes her eyes for 1 second, then she speaks. My name is Rina. Her voice is soft, but the class can hear. The room is quiet. Everyone is listening. She takes another breath. I like reading books. The words come out clear, simple, stronger than before. For a second, the room is silent. Rina feels her heart stop. Did she do it wrong? Then, clap, clap, clap. The class starts to clap. Some students smile. The teacher nods proudly. Rina feels something new inside her chest. It is not fear. It is not shame. It is pride. It is courage. She did it. Her face turns red, but this time not from fear, from happiness. She walks back to her desk. She sits down. Her hands are still shaking, but her heart feels light. She whispers to herself, "I did it. I really did it." For the first time, Rina feels that maybe she can speak again. Maybe fear is not bigger than her. Maybe courage is inside her all along. Yes, today is different. Today, Rina has taken her first step. Part 5. The Lesson. Rina walks home from school with a smile on her face. The road looks brighter. The trees look taller. Even the air feels fresh. Why? Because today, something changed inside her. For the first time, she stood in front of her class and spoke. Yes, it was only 2 sentences. Yes, her hands were shaking, but she did it. When she remembers the clapping, her heart feels warm. The sound of her classmates' hands still plays in her ears. It was not laughter. It was not teasing. It was support. At home, she runs to her mother. "Mom, I did it! I spoke in front of everyone!" Her mother hugs her tightly. "I knew you could," she whispers. "See, fear did not win. You are stronger than your fear." That night, Rina sits by the window. She looks at the stars. She thinks about the day. She says softly, "Fear is big, but courage is bigger." And she realizes something important. Courage does not mean you are never afraid. Courage means you try, even when your heart is racing, even when your voice is small. From that day, Rina begins to change little by little. When the teacher asks a question, sometimes she raises her hand. When she wants to say something to a friend, she tries. Step by step, she grows. Step by step, she becomes stronger. Of course, the fear does not disappear completely. Sometimes it comes back. Sometimes her hands still shake. But now she knows a secret. She can face it. And here is the lesson for us, too. Maybe you are like Rina. Maybe you feel scared to speak. Maybe your fear is at school, or at work, or even in front of your family. Maybe your heart beats fast. Maybe your voice disappears. But remember Rina's story. Remember how she started with only 2 sentences. Remember how she practiced in her room in front of the mirror. Remember how she stood, shaking, but still spoke. Fear is big, yes, but your courage can be bigger. You don't have to fight fear all at once. You only need 1 step, 1 try, 1 sentence. And with every step, your courage will grow. So the next time fear stands in your way, think of Rina. Think of her small, brave voice saying, "My name is Rina. I like reading books." And then take your step. Because if Rina can overcome her fear, you can too.